Hello friends, and welcome to today's video where we're going to talk about RIIZE's Memories. And I want to complain for like 45 seconds if you'll indulge me because, first of all, I wasn't prepared for this song to come out today. To my knowledge, this was a surprise release, like they hadn't announced this, that or I missed it. But I check all K-pop and Zoom literally every morning just to stay up to date on new releases, so I don't miss most things. This one I missed. However, that's not the actual complaint. The complaint is that this week is already so stacked with comebacks that I want to talk about. I did not have it in me to try and figure out where this was gonna go in the week schedule, so you're getting a second video today, okay? That's the moral. Like, I already reviewed Acme this morning, we're reviewing RIIZE now. It's just, like, on Wednesday alone, there are like 6 things coming out that I want to talk about. So watch me take a vacation day from work just to review shit all day. Anyway, complaint time is over. Just to go over this video is going to work. I'm going to run through the song, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. And then I'm going to give it a score out of 10 at the end. However, I do have a few disclaimers before we continue. Disclaimer number 1, this song came out this morning, which means I have heard it a few times. I just looped it when I took notes, and I also listened to it while I was doing work because I work from home on Mondays. But I've heard it a few times, however, my opinions on it very much may change over time. Second disclaimer is, of course, my standard one. Everything I say in this video is just my opinion. You do not have to agree with my opinion because, as the mug always says, music is subjective, and that is great. Now, before I talk about the song, I actually want to talk about RIIZE for a minute, like, as a group, because as a passionate and citizen who engages in a lot of passionate and citizen discussion on Twitter, and of course by engage I mean silently view from my own Twitter account and don't partake whatsoever, but I've seen a lot of discussion. I've seen a lot of debate over whether or not RIIZE should have been an NCT unit or like a full-fledged separate boy group. I've talked about this before, but I am of the very strong opinion that the infinite member concept is stupid, and I hate it a lot. Like, I hated it when NCT was announced as an infinite member group. I hated it every time they added new members. I hate it now. I hate it conceptually now. Like, it's not a good concept, especially in the way NCT executes it, but that's a separate topic of discussion. Like, I'm of the opinion Mark and Hyuncha need to be removed from either NCT Dream or NCT 127, have the two groups promote separately, and then the occasional group-wide release. Like, I think that would literally be so beneficial to everyone. But yeah, I am team new boy group. I am pro RIIZE being their own separate entity. They're not part of NCT. If they are retroactively added to NCT, I'm gonna throw a tantrum, I'm gonna lose it, and I'm gonna be angry. Like, leave them alone. They're their own thing. They're doing their own thing. Leave them be. And plus, like, it was time. It was time for a new SM boy group. Like, we haven't gotten a fully fresh, or fresh to this extent, SM boy group in a while. And I was a fan of it. Plus, Sunshine and Shotaro get to go outside now. They get to do things with their day. And I like Shotaro, so I'm here for that too. Okay, now that that's all done, now that I'm done rambling, we can talk about the song. And to start off this little song section, I want to once again quote a text I sent to the bestie. Ahem. The RIIZE song has such a slay chorus with the most mid-verses, and it has been a couple hours since I sent that text, however I do stand by it. The first verse is fine, it's not bad, it's definitely the better verse, if you ask me, but it's also not giving that much, and considering the fact that this is the first verse in the first RIIZE song, like, this is the first thing a lot of people are going to hear from your new group, I just wish they put a little more effort into it. The second verse is the bad one, meanwhile, like, probably just because it starts out with the most atrocious rap I've ever heard. Like, that rap is awful. The vocal part of that verse is pretty. I will concede that. Like, it's very pretty. But the rap kills the verse for me, and whoever thought that was okay and a good way to start the verse needs to be fired. While we're on the topic of raps that I didn't like, let's talk about the bridge, okay? Hear me out. It's not the worst bridge I've ever heard. There are parts of it that I actually think are good. But in spite of me liking Shotaro, he has never once been able to deliver a good rap, and I need all of us to accept that, and I need us all to reevaluate what we do with him in our songs. As for the pre-chorus, it's pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it enough. The only thing that I will say is, like, it doesn't really fit the song. To be fair, this is another one of those songs where I feel like the verses, the pre-chorus, and the chorus are their own separate entities, and I honestly don't really like that in most songs. Here it's not as bad, like, it's not as jarring, it's just the pre-chorus doesn't really vibe with the verses, but it flows well enough into the chorus that I'll take it. But it is now time to talk about the chorus, and as previously mentioned in the text to the bestie, this chorus slays. Like, it's just I would argue, very possibly, the best SM debut chorus since Replay. Like, just the way the beat picks up and it just suddenly becomes this absolute masterpiece of a chorus. That is art. Big picture, it's a little complex. I want to compare this to the other SM debuts that have existed in the past, like, 10 years or so. And they're complex because I don't really like any SM debut for the past 10 years. But I do think about them very often. Like, I'm sorry. Red Velvet screaming the word penis or EXO's careless, careless, shoot anonymous. Literally icon behavior, and I will not be convinced otherwise. But in terms of the actual music, it's still complex because I don't like a lot of the song, but the chorus is so good that I just might have to trick myself and Stockholm myself into enjoying it. But that is all I have to tell you about the song. So with that, it is score time, and overall, I'm giving the song an 8 out of 10. I think it's B- effort. It's just, I have complex feelings, but it's not a bad song. It's pretty good. So yeah, 8 out of 10. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your thoughts down below on how you feel about the song. Let me know what you think. You can also like and subscribe if you want to, or don't. I will be okay either way. And spoilers, I heard parts of Siren. I watched the clips from their KCON stage, so once I review that, once it's out, I'll put that in the description too, and any future RIIZE reviews, they'll all be down there so you can check them out if you so choose. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!